March 4th, fucking doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. March 4th, 2020, doesn't matter what day it is. I'm getting frustrated. Been very frustrated for writing purposes. I haven't stopped thinking about comedy. I haven't stopped writing and just trying to mold some shit together. But it is, I can't even describe how fucking hard it is when you have no idea what jokes, Aaliyah, goddamn. When you have no idea what's working and what isn't. So like, I'll write some jokes or whatever, or I'll write ideas or tags or something, and then I'll say them out loud, and then one day it'll sound funny and I'll be like, okay, I think this works. And then the very next day it sounds terrible. It sounds so stupid. And I'm not sure what to do about that. I need to find some sort of strategy to figure out how to write jokes, how to figure out what seems to be working, and to figure out the fucking motivation and to get in the thought process for it. Like right now, I'm just not, I'm forcing myself, but I'm not at all in a headspace to write jokes, especially about the stuff that I write about. And I don't want to write about fucking COVID-19. I am not looking forward to whenever we get back to some semblance of normal and I have to hear all these goddamn coronavirus jokes. I am not looking forward to that. The amount of times I'm going to hear something about the fucking Corona beer, I'm already ready to blow my brains out just thinking about it. But regardless, I need to figure out a strategy. I need to figure out something to do so that I can kind of perform these jokes. So I think this whole episode is just going to be me brainstorming, trying to figure out how I can do this. I'm thinking, okay, first off, right now I'm walking through a different neighborhood because I got bored with the other neighborhood I'm in, and I'm literally walking past a mansion right now. Like, whoever is quarantined in that place has not used all of the rooms yet, I guarantee it. That is fucking crazy. It's like a plantation. Anyway, what was I? I need to brainstorm different ways to work these jokes out and figure out what the fuck works, or just the closest thing I can get to an audience. So I don't know, maybe set up like a Zoom chat with audience members, people that just want to listen to comedy. That could work. All right, walking past another mansion that has a mural on it. It's like of like glaciers in the mountains. This is a wild ass neighborhood I just stumbled myself into. This is some Get Out shit, actually. This is the opening to Get Out. Except no one's gonna take me. No one wants to bring me into their house right now, so I guess that would make the movie far more boring if they did it like that, if this was during the fucking quarantine. Anyway, so having a Zoom conference with as many audience, I don't know how many people can be on Zoom because I'm technologically illiterate, but maybe a Zoom conference would help. There's a piece of me, if I didn't live with my grandma, I probably would have rolled the dice a long time ago with doing street stand-up. But I'm trying to think, maybe if I did like social distancing street stand-up where I set up a perimeter, but I'm sure the cops would get called immediately on something like that. And nobody's out. I mean, people are out walking their dogs and jogging, but nobody's like out in Redlands gonna hang out and deal with me. So, and I'm mostly making because I could have been talking about this in my head this whole time. I'm mostly making this so that if other people listen and you have an idea, some way for me to work out jokes and do as close to stand-up as I can during all of this, I'm listening. Email thebuddysystemco@gmail.com. Not to say I'm going to take your advice, but I probably will. I have very little to lose at this point. I miss stand-up so much. Like before all of this stuff happened, and I would tell people, yeah, I do this like usually 6-7 nights a week. They'd be blown away. They'd be shocked by it. And holy fuck. Okay, I am passing another mansion that has like a party's worth of cars. Edit. What the fuck? Yo, they have butlers for sure. Oh my god, dude! Like there's a party's worth of cars here. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure they're all fine. They probably have the vaccine and they're hiding it from all of us. This place is so rich. Their front door is see-through glass. Like I can see the people walking around eating caviar, twirling their mustaches. They're not. They look like bro-y, douchey type of dudes who would also still have that level of money. But that shit is wild. Shit hits the fan. I'm gonna go hide in their bunker. Anyway, I need help. I need help with coming up. Like missing stand. Man, when I would tell people that I did this shit almost every day, if not every day, they would be so surprised by it. And for a while in my head, I was like, yeah, maybe that is weird that I'm doing that. But now that I haven't been doing it, man, wow, do I miss stand-up. That's the thing I miss. I thought I was going to be lonely. And if everyone has ups and downs. Like there are times where I'm a little lonely. There's times when I'm what the fuck is this? There's a car lot. There's a car lot filled with cars at another mansion. Nice, god damn, nice cars too. Wow. Jesus Christ. He has this dude has a giraffe mannequin in front of his house and a baby giraffe mannequin. I think he murdered a teenage giraffe, a baby giraffe, and he stuffed them and he put it in front of his house because this shit is wild. I need to hang out in this neighborhood, figure out what these people are doing. But I need this. Like when, I know it's cliche and people say it's cliche. Aaliyah, slow. I know it's cliche, but like, oh god damn it, there's a rabbit. Oh, Aaliyah, stop. Hey. Or people get weird and they'll be like, sorry, Aaliyah's pulling me out of my pants right now. Give me a second. All right, let's see if I can figure out what I was talking about. Needing this. Yeah, people, there's this whole cliche, oh, this is my therapy. I hear that a lot. New comics get on stage and they've usually been doing like a week to 2 weeks. And that's the thing that you'll hear. You'll hear, oh, this is my therapy. They'll say something fucked up or wild or offensive, and then they'll say, this is my therapy. And I'm sure I've also done that at some point, probably multiple times. But no, it really is. It really is. At a certain point, it is a form of therapy. I think for the type of person that I am, and especially the type of comedian I am, it is my place, to like express my thoughts, my feelings. Man, fuck do I miss doing this on stage. Either way, bitching about it is not gonna fix the problem. So I need to figure out how I can perform these jokes. What is the closest thing I can get to a stand-up comedy audience? So if anyone has any ideas, right now the only thing I can think of is just a giant Zoom meeting, but I don't know who would join in. I don't even know how to set something like that up. So I'll probably ask around, or maybe someone will email in. Who the fuck? No, I know someone's listening. I see the analytics, motherfuckers. I see you. I see you listening. So, this is an interactive show. By all means, interact. Okay, I guess I'm going to keep recording. I walked really far away from, and I'm still walking really far away from my house into this decadent neighborhood, and I don't have shit else to do. So, I guess what I'm missing right now when it comes to stand-up and when it comes to writing and performing is reaction. I need reaction to tell me if something is working for most people or not working for most people. So I need to figure out, I either need to figure out how to not need the reaction, how to figure out what's going to work, what's going to be funny without it, or I need to find a way to get the reaction real time. You know, when I did it a few times on live on Instagram, people would react, but it was like a minute and a half delayed. So like, I would tell a joke and I would keep going, and then all of a sudden a crying laughing emoji would pop up, and they were like, you know, the one thing you said like 4 minutes ago, and I don't, you know, you need that. You need real-time reaction, or at least I do at this point. I need real-time reaction to understand what seems to be working. So I don't know. I'm gonna keep brainstorming, keep thinking it through about what I could do to not need the reaction. Like watching the Daily Show or Last Week Tonight. Oh, fuck, this is a hill. Watching the Daily Show or Last Week Tonight, like they're in writer rooms, I think. I would imagine. I don't know. I've never been in a writer's room. But they're in writer's rooms, and so I assume they're bouncing off of each other at least. But what happens when you're just alone in a really rich neighborhood waiting to get kidnapped and taken to a plantation? How do you write jokes in that situation? That is the question. All right, made it out the rich neighborhood, back to the pores. I'm still racking my brain with this, still trying to figure out what to do. But I'm also working on staying positive. I'm sure you can hear it in my tone. This is a positive tone. This is what positive people sound like. It's the Reading Rainbow dude sounded like when he was being positive. Working on being positive. And if this podcast has taught me anything, or re-listening to it, is that there's an ebb and flow to this type of shit where I'll feel down, things won't be going well, I'll be upset about some shit, and then something will happen, something will click, or something will change or shift, or I'll change and shift, and then I get better. Like it's like I level. Okay, Pokemon reference, everybody. You play Pokemon and you play your Squirtle. You keep using your Squirtle over and over again, fucking up little Caterpies and other random people that you come in contact with, and eventually your Squirtle takes enough damage and fights enough, and then it evolves and it becomes better. That's Squirtle. I don't know what type of Pokemon I'd be, actually. I don't know. If you're a Pokemon person, let me know. But I know that whenever this is over, I'm going to come out of it with a better understanding of myself and being better at stand-up comedy, which is the two most important things that matter to me. Nobody else gives a shit, I'm sure. But to me, the most important things are that I continue to grow, I continue to understand myself, and I continue to become happier in my own skin, and that I get better at stand-up comedy. I become better at this craft and this art form. Those are the two most important things. And I know this fucking sucks right now, but I know that at the end of it, I will come out of this a better comedian and a better person. I know I will. This part fucking sucks. So yeah. All right. So I was talking to a friend of mine who's a writer, and I was asking her, like, how does she do it? Like, how does she write stuff that's humorous without knowing, like, she doesn't know if something's funny or not. She's just writing, you know what I mean? And when she writes something humorous, and she was saying that the big difference again is audience, and that she doesn't need a live reaction for a story to work. And if something is funny in the story, then it's funny, but it doesn't necessarily drive the purpose of the story. That like, if a story is interesting or compelling enough, then her writing being all that humorous doesn't really matter. Now, obviously, that doesn't completely translate one-to-one into stand-up comedy. I still have, if I'm on stage, I still have to be funny. But there's something that, I think it was Chappelle who said it, that, you don't necessarily always have to be funny, but you do have to be interesting. I think he gets away with some of the stuff he gets away with partly because he's Dave Chappelle, and partly because when he's speaking, he's very, very interesting to listen to. So I'm thinking maybe if I can switch up my style of writing from, they're not one-liners. They're like, I would describe my jokes as individual one-liners strung together for a narrative arc. And maybe if I focus on one story and then try to, if I invert that, if I try to write a story out that connects to some of the themes I've been talking about, I write out this story and then I just insert the jokes into the story, maybe the inverse will bring me something that I can use. So that's my new strategy right now. All right. So I was sitting around just relaxed, chilling, and a joke idea came to my head. And I'm not going to say it on the podcast because I feel like that's going to do the opposite of what I want. It seems like when I'm feeling at my most relaxed and my calmest, and I just kind of not try to write jokes and I just kind of let it come to me, I think that's a good way to go about things. It's going to frustrate me a little less. So it seems like there's going to be like a personal improvement issue more than it is a writing or performing issue. So that's always fun. It's like every time I find a new just crevice of myself, there's cobwebs and like old Polaroid cameras. There's always like a creepy fucking Annabelle doll over there in those corners. I have to dig through those corners and then clean it out. And like the exhausting part is digging through the corners. No, the exhausting part is everything, really, I guess. Like finding that little corner of yourself is never fun, and then cleaning it out's exhausting. But once it's cleaned, it feels better. So, yeah, that's good. And it's funny, like these are lessons that I have to relearn in different ways, different avenues of my life. But it's not a bad thing to work on. All right, so I'm just going to relax. I'm just going to try to keep relaxing and not worrying about writing the jokes, not worrying about anything really. And I'll just assume it'll come to me. I'm going to be lazy. I have to force myself to be lazy. All right. I'm going to go back to watching Goodfellas.